through this award, and through all of us gathered here together, we are wanting to proclaim the good news to the poor, that God loves them, that we love them, that they are somebody to us, that they too have been created by the same loving hand of God, to love and to be loved.
Mother Teresa calling her Nobel Peace Prize a gift for the poor. During her acceptance speech back in 1979, she received that award after years of dedicated service to the poor and sick in India. And now another distinction is afforded her memory, as on Sunday, Mother Teresa will be known as Saint Mother Teresa following her canonization. For more, let's discuss it now, as we're joined from Boston by the former U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See and former Boston Mayor, Raymond Flynn. Ray, it's always good when you spend time with us here on Newsmax Prime.
Thanks, J.D., for having me on the program on such an important topic.
You are one of those who met Mother Teresa. When you remember her, what do you remember most?
Well, I met her way back in 1982 over the Harvard University commencement. And, you know, J.D., as you know, I've worked with presidents, prime ministers, and very powerful people, presidents and popes even. And, you know, I've seen civil wars, I've seen racial riots, and I've seen genocide. But that day that I saw her over at Harvard, and the many times that I saw her after that, I could see that she was a very special person. Her message, J.D., was pro-life, pro-poor, and pro-disabled. Now, name me a politician who receives the Nobel Prize or national acclaim or wins popularity with that kind of a message. She was a very simple, humble, not charismatic, but, you know, special vision of hope that even the audience at Harvard University, at that time one of the most progressive universities in the country, could see that Mother Teresa was going to leave her impact here on the world. And wow, did she ever? I worked with her in Rome. She came to Boston many times and built housing with me when I was mayor of Boston. And I saw her over the years, and I can honestly tell you, I have never met a person more humble, more simple, but more radiant in all my life than Mother Teresa. It was incredible.
And Ray, because of that humility, because of that spirit of love, did you even back then suspect that one day you might be calling her Saint Mother Teresa?
Well, I had the opportunity to sit down with her and talk to her without cameras, without the media, just one-on-one, both in Boston when we were building housing for unwed mothers and for the poor, and later helping her as a volunteer in a soup kitchen in Rome, and later working with her in Africa. And I could see that maybe I didn't call her a saint, but I certainly categorized her as something very special that almost defied the radiance of any popular charismatic figure. She didn't have any of those characteristics. What she had is she had a pure heart, and I could see that heart in Mother Teresa at the time. That's why this, you know, as I say, I've seen them all. I've seen all these events over these many years that I've lived, but I haven't seen anything like this in my life. It's going to be a thrill to be with Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, this Sunday in Rome, in proclaiming her a saint. I think it's amazing for Catholics, for non-Catholics, for believers, non-believers. Anybody who believes in the disabled, loves the poor, and believes in the sanctity and dignity of life, Mother Teresa is your saint.
And because you are going to attend the canonization, obviously that has a special place within the church. But for non-Catholics, for everyone else, in terms of recognition and remembering Mother Teresa, does this canonization help commit her good works to history beyond the Catholic world?
Yeah, I really think it does, because where she came from, it wasn't the most Christian, most Catholic area of the world. She left ex-Yugoslavia. She went to India. She worked in the slums, the saint of the slums. She worked among many non-Catholics. She had a relationship with people who weren't even religious. They flocked to her. She really is the saint for all. When you think about it, she's the saint for the poor. She was the saint for the special needs. She was the saint for the handicapped. And that's not about a religion. That's about a good, pure heart.
And we move from that pure heart, Ray, to a calling that you and I have had through the years, politics. I need to talk to you about what's going on in terms of what we can expect this November as Franklin Graham, the Reverend Franklin Graham, the son of evangelist Billy Graham, recently held a mass prayer in Boston as part of a 50-state tour urging evangelicals to vote. Reverend Graham says he's not endorsing any candidate, but he's asking Americans to pray because he says our nation is in serious trouble. Do you agree with Franklin Graham?
Yes, I really do. He's one of the people that I most admire in the world. He and John Paul II were two of the greatest religious leaders that I've ever seen, and his father, of course, Billy Graham. You know, this is the message that I love, and many people do as well. You don't see them out protesting. You don't see them on TV. You don't see them demonstrating, but they're there. You might see them in church on Sunday, but you see them walking with their kids and their families, and you might see them volunteering in the soup kitchen. That's the unspoken America that is ready to start surfacing again to make a difference in this country. And I think this election it may be a wake-up call for people like that, you know, to get off their couches and get out there and start voting and start playing a meaningful role in the lives of people who don't have power, don't have money, and don't have a lot of influence, but they really need a voice in the White House and in Congress.
A couple of minutes remain, Ray, and before we go, we spoke of evangelicals. Let's talk about other people of faith, specifically the Roman Catholic community and Catholic voters vis-a-vis Donald Trump. According to our parent website, Newsmax.com, Catholics are, in the words of the headline, deserting Mr. Trump more than any other group. Why do you think there is a departure among Catholic voters as we're heading toward November, as they're looking at Mr. Trump?
Well, when you think about Catholic voters, you really have to think about people who came to this country maybe like my family as immigrants. We're pro-immigrant, we're pro-poor, we're pro-special needs, we're for people down on their luck. Now, that's the message that motivates and mobilizes Catholic voters, I think. We're not these high-in-the-sky, wealthy individuals who can afford, you know, making big contributions to political campaigns. But we sure as heck are there to support any candidate who really takes a liking and a respect for people that don't have power and influence. And I think the candidate that wins that, represents that point of view. I think that's the person who gets the Catholic vote. Going back to Kennedy and going back to all these, Ronald Reagan, all these people, whether they were Republican or Democrat, whether they were Catholic or Protestant, those are the people that Catholics like me, blue-collar Catholics, those are the people that appeal to us.
And now, with less than 70 days till Election Day, I've heard it said that 2 months is an eternity in politics, so certainly there is time to see a lot of changes in the electorate as the campaign continues. Ray Flynn, as you head to the canonization at the Vatican of Mother Teresa, sir, we wish you all the best, safe travels, and thanks so much for your time.
It's great to be with you, J.D. God bless you.
And bless you too, sir. Ray Flynn, former Boston mayor and former United States ambassador to the Holy See, to the Vatican, returning there to the Vatican for the canonization of Mother Teresa this weekend. That'll do it for tonight. For those you see and those you don't, stay brave, stay free, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.